Hi everyone, welcome to new video. So in this video we'll see what are the important topics or important concept to be known before starting a Spring Boot or before implementing or learning a Spring Boot or Spring Boot framework. Okay, so now what are these important topics is? So the important topics are the building blocks of OOPS or building blocks of object oriented concepts. So what are those? So first and foremost thing is like there are four building blocks of object oriented concepts. In that first one is Java inheritance, or we can call it as inheritance. Second one is abstraction, and third one is encapsulation, and the last and foremost thing or the last one is polymorphism. Total four. So these are the important topics to be known before studying a Spring, because these four topics will be used when you are trying to make a Spring Boot application or a Java backend application. Okay, so let's get started. So first and foremost thing, I just open Eclipse so that it will take some time to load. So that's why I'll open Eclipse now, and you can open as you want. So okay, so I'll along with the explanation, I'll give the example of inheritance or the topics as well, so that you can understand better. Main thing, the motto over here is to understand the concept. Okay, so let's say like this. So first one is inheritance. So what is this inheritance is? So inheritance is one of the key feature of object oriented programming that allows us to create a new class from an existing class. Okay, let me make it much more clear. A class which is already defined, we're making another class from that class. Or let's say, to be more accurate, a new class, a child class will be created from a parent class, or a new class will be created from a base class, or a new class will be derived from already existing class. I hope you got it. So this is Java inheritance. So Java inheritance is one of the key feature in object oriented programming that allows us to create a new class from an already existing class. So simple. So the new class that is created is known as subclass or a child class or a derived class. Okay, so the new class which will be created can be called a subclass, child or derived class. And the existing class from which child class is derived is known as parent class, superclass, or a base class. Base class, basement, I mean foundation like that, or a base class. Okay. Alright. So now let's see an example. Okay, let's see an example how inheritance can be implemented. All right. So first and foremost thing. Okay, today I mean now for the first time we are creating a new project in Eclipse. Okay, isn't that exciting? All right. So here go for file and go for new, and here you can see a Java over here like Java project. If you don't see Java over here means go for other and search for Java like this. So if you search, you'll get a Java class interface over here, and as of now we'll directly go for the Java project. Inside that project we'll create a class. So normally when you install any application from the internet, or when you download any application from the internet, when you install it in your system, okay, when you install it in your system, you'll see plenty of files, right, like bin, lib, or something like that, right? That is complete project. So just click on Java project. So next, okay, it is loading, it will take some time. Okay, here we'll give a project name, let's say learning, or let's say learning as of now. Okay, learning, a project name is learning. Okay, it's not a file name, project name. And here you can select whichever the Java version you want. So I'll select for Java 1.8. Okay, you can yeah, it is going to work, no problem with that. So now click on next and finish. It will take a few seconds to create a new project, and click on finish now, and it's done. Okay, So here just check this and open perspective and finish it. Alright, a new project has been created. As you can see in the top left side, a new project, or you can see like folder kind of thing, a learning has been created, right? So now if you expand this, as you can see a GRE system libraries. So we are not going to concentrate over there. So there is a source, alright? So now select this project and create a new class. So this is an example for interface, okay? Not interface, inheritance, Java inheritance. So click a right button. It is loading, still it's loading. Okay, click a right button. Okay, click on new and go for class. And here you need to give a class name. Okay, here you need to give a class name. By default, this is the it will take a package name as project name itself. As of now, don't concentrate over here. We'll discuss even package plays an important role in Spring Boot. We'll explain that project, or we'll learn what is important about package in upcoming videos. Don't worry with that. So as of now, just cool. Okay. Now let's write a class name. Okay, let's say I'll give a class name as like I like cars, so I'll give a class name as Lamborghini. Okay, a car name. Okay, see, same thing, we are implementing or we are understanding the inheritance concept with the car example. Okay, I'll take a car name as Lambo or Lamborghini. That's it. Okay, now here just check this so that your main function will be created automatically, and click on finish, and it's done. It's loading. Okay, alright, so it's done. So now I'll just let me remove this comment and I'll zoom it for you so that you can see this properly. Okay, I hope you can see. Yes. So now concentrate over here. So suppose if you are using this, if you are writing the Java program for the first time, don't worry, no problem. So here you can see a class name is Lamborghini, and this is our main function. Normally if you are if you know a little bit concept about the C or C++ means you understand better, no worries. Okay, yeah. So now see, car, or this Lamborghini is a car, we know, right? Can we able to accept whether Lamborghini is a child of car? Okay, let me repeat it again. So let's say we have a big car class. In that car class, a Lamborghini car has been built. Okay, let's say let me give more clear over here. Let's say we have a class. Okay, let's write class car like this. Okay, so here normally what are the feature does car have in common? Every car will move, correct? So let's say public void runs. Let's keep it as run. So I'll give a print statement over here. Okay, so let's say I can let's give it as move, and I'll change this function as move as well. Okay, what is the most common feature in the car? Every car moves, correct? So from the main class, and we have plenty of features like tire and hood, everything. Don't concentrate for that as of now. Just concentrate on the topic or the concept over here. Every car moves, correct? So in every car moves means the main class or the main car has to move, right? So this is a complete class where this car as a feature has to move. This car, whatever the car you have built for the first time, that car has a feature to move, correct? So now see, what I'm trying to explain over here is car is a parent class. Okay, from this parent class a child will be created as Lamborghini. Alright, so this is a child class and this is a parent class. I'm just giving an example. See, normally we can normally will speak, right? Like uh, your son looked exactly like you, like your their father or like their mother, right? So some of the feature from the parents will be acceptable. It will be give I mean will be there in a child, right? So same thing. What we can do here is this is the child class, correct? So let's say extends from where? From the parent class. Who is the parent class? Car, right? So when I mention extends car means what all the feature which is there in a parent class will be available in a child class. I hope it is clear now, right? So now let's say like this. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'll write one more function over here in a Lamborghini class. Okay. So let's say like this: public void public void and speed. So we all know Lamborghini speed is very high. So let's say I'll write one more print statement as sys out and I run at 200 kilometer per hour. Okay, like this. So Lamborghini has a feature which is speed, correct? And Lamborghini has a one more feature which is move. Why? Because so what all the feature which the parent class has, that has been extends to the Lamborghini class. Okay, so now we'll see how we can able to get all the feature when we call this class. We'll get the feature of this class as well. So we'll see how we can do that. So let's say how to create an object. So what is the class name? Class name is Lamborghini, right? So Lamborghini, let's say Lambo is an object of Lamborghini class, which is equal to new Lamborghini, like this. An object has been created as Lambo for Lamborghini class. So now just observe over here, concentrate. So Lambo dot, as you can see here, when I click on Lambo over here, what are the different things I can get over here? See here, if you see speed. So why speed? Because we have a speed feature in Lamborghini class, right? Correct. So if I scroll down a little bit, here you can see a move feature. So where does this feature come from? From car. As you can see over here, you can see a car, right? So this feature come from car. So let's say first I'll use speed semicolon, and if I give Lambo dot, what is one more feature which is move? If you observe car, so this feature is coming from where? From the parent class, which is a parent class car, right? So like this, if you run this file, so just click a right button and go for run as, and give for select as Java application. And if you see in the output, okay, it is running. Okay, if you see in the output, you can able to get a complete data from a child class itself. Alright, so that's simple. See, we have created an object for the Lamborghini class, correct? But how can I able to get I can move statement from this? That's because we have extended feature from a parent class, which is a parent class car. Alright, so simple. Let me repeat what are the definition I told in the beginning. A key feature of OOP that allows you to create a new class which is created from already an existing class, okay, or new class which derive feature from already existing class, or a parent class or a super class. Which is our super class? Car. Which is our parent class? Car. Which is our base class? Car. Which is our child class? Lamborghini. Got it? Or which is our derived class? Lamborghini. Got it? So Lamborghini is a child of car. I hope you guys understood about inheritance. Got it? So now we'll go for the second concept. So what is it? Second concept will be abstraction. So what is this abstraction? So first and foremost thing, let me repeat. Let me give a definition or a general definition of abstraction. So what is this abstraction? So to remember this, I'll give a small example. Okay. First, let me give you the definition or the what is the general definition of abstraction. Abstraction is a process of hiding the implementation details, or pros- abstraction refers to hiding the information or hiding the essential features without including the background details. Let me repeat the statement again. Hiding the or hiding the background details and give a essential features in the front end. Okay, let me give a small example over here. You'll understand the concept of abstraction very clear. You're not going to forget it. Okay, so we all use Instagram and WhatsApp, right? So whatever you see in the WhatsApp, like chats, you can see the chats, you can see the status, and you can see the call history, and you can set the profile picture and the status and your about section, everything, right? So whatever you can see over there is that is UI, or that is the front end, and those are feature which you can able to change or which you can able to do when you send some message to someone. See how it is working in the back end and what are the operation is going to call in the back end, that you don't know, right? So let me repeat the statement which I told again. Providing essential features. Providing essential feature means what are the feature you're getting in the WhatsApp, chat, status, call history, same thing. Providing essential features without including the background details. Background detail means suppose if you send any message to someone or you have put any status, so how the background operation is working, that you can't see, right? Can you able to see the programming or the code? No, right? Yes. So for that we call as an abstraction. So providing essential features without including the background details, and for that we call as abstraction. I hope it is clear. So now we'll see a small example of abstraction. Okay. So this time we'll take an example of a bike. Alright. So let's say here we have a learning package, right? As you can see, learning package. Just click a right button and go for new and select a new class. So this time I'll give a class. Last time I gave a class name as Lamborghini, and this time let me give a bike name of famous bike, which is Bullet bike. So now we can able to understand Bullet bike is the child class of whole class of bike, right? So now don't concentrate about inheritance. Now concentrate about abstraction. So what is this abstraction is? So let me remove this command as well over here. So now see what is abstraction means. So whatever the or see okay, let's say like this. You have a class. Okay, as I told, bullet or bullet bike is a child class of a bike, or bike class, or bike class is a parent class, which we saw just now in the Lamborghini example, correct? So now what if I give that class as an abstract class? Okay, first let me write the class. So class, give a line, class, let's say bike. Okay, so now we can see what are the feature does the class have. Bike is going to have that, but it's not going to have, because unless if we give extents over here, this bullet or this bullet class cannot able to get all the features or all the methods or all the functions from a bike class, right? So now see what is the abstract. So let me name this class as abstract now. Okay, abstract. Oh sorry, my bad. Abstract. Okay, so now I have mentioned this class by class as abstract class. So now what I'm going to do, I'll add a feature. Okay, I'll add a feature. So what is this feature is? So let's say a feature will be abstract void let's say bike, obviously it's going to run. This is a feature which is in common. So now I have mentioned the method name run as abstract and the class name bike as abstract. So as I told, when you mention abstract means it is going to give all the features without including the background details. How it is working in the background, it is not going to show. And one more thing important note over here in the abstraction is so when you give a class as an abstract means that abstract class or the what are the method you create in methods the methods of abstract class doesn't contain a body, so you can able to define the feature just like in the WhatsApp. You can put the feature in the WhatsApp, I mean in the front end, but you cannot see the code, right? So that is what abstract over here. All right, so you can see when you send a text, like just assume send a text is a function, just like that run is a function. So you can use that feature, but you cannot see the background code of that. Got it? So when you give a method as an abstract, you can see the feature of that, but you cannot see the background details. It is not going to give the background details of this run method. And most important thing over here is abstract doesn't contain a body. Alright, so now let's extend this abstract class. So extends, which is our class name bike, correct? So now if you observe over here, when I gave extends by, this gave me an error. So what is this error over here? That's because what all the methods which is defined or declared in a bike class, that has to be compulsory to be implemented in the child class or in the class where we have extended the base class. So if you hover this error, you can see quick fix as add unimplemented methods. So just click on that. Here you can see we have a function or we have a method called run in the bike class, right? So that has been overridden over here, correct? So now we can use this method. See, all right. So let's say this function could be like system.println. So let's say running safely. Okay. All right. All right. So now we have this method which is written in a bullet class, right? So now here we'll try to call this method in our main class. So how to call, so create an object for bike bullet class, bullet, let's say b1 or let's say b itself. It's an object, you can name or you can give your name as well, no problem. It's just an object of my class. So new bullet, okay, open and close parenthesis and done. So now when you click on b dot, as you can see few things which is run. So where does this run come from the bullet, right? So like this, done. See, did we wrote any body run over here? See, when we call this run function, this is gonna execute, we know that, right? So what's telling over here means when you give abstract over here, abstract lets you focus on what object does instead of how it does it. Let me repeat the statement. So abstraction lets you focus on what the object does instead of how it does it. Got it? So if I run this method, so bullet run as Java application. Okay. So here it's give me running safely, which we have wrote a simple statement in run method. Got it? I hope you guys clear with abstraction, providing essential features without including background details. Got it? Yes. So now we'll go for the second option, which is encapsulation. So encapsulation is nothing but, let me give you a small okay, wait. So So let's take first let's create a class. So let's create a class as student. Let's say student itself so that you can understand better. Student. So main function is not required over here, so I'll click on finish. So we have a student class over here, right? So let me give what is the general definition of encapsulation. So encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit. We call it as encapsulation. So let me make it more clear. So let's say in your left hand you have data and in the right hand you have a methods. So if you want to run this method, you need some variables or some values to run this method, right? Like suppose let's say you need to make some calculations, you need the input, right? You need some data, right? Correct. So data and function, when you combine together, so wrapping up data and function into a single unit, we call it as a encapsulation. Got it? Or we can also call it data encapsulation as well. So let's take an example over here. So normally when we let's say we want to create a student, or we need to insert some data of a student in a database. So normally what all this data will take from a student. So let's say string name, obviously we'll take a student name, and student let's say college. Okay, yeah, no problem. String and roll number, or let's say register number, and next we have string email id. Okay, like this. All right, so now these are all the variables which we are declared, correct? So now if you click on the right button and go for source over here, and here you can see generate getters and setters option. Just click on that, and here select all, click on generate. That's it. So now here a few methods has been generated automatically. So that's because whenever you want to add a data, to a variable, could be name, college, register number, or email id, this method will be called. So when you want to fetch that data, get method will be called, which is get name method will be called, a name will be returned. When you want to give a value for that variable, which is the variable for name variable, a set name method will be called. So whenever you call this function in any of your programming or in your coding, so you'll pass a name and that will set to this particular name. So if you don't understand over here, don't worry, we'll see examples when we develop our Spring Boot application. That time will be clear, crystal clear over there, no problem. So these are the data and methods, or we can also call as a function, wrapped together into a single unit, or we can also call single object. See, all the data like name, college, register number, email id, this will be connected into an object, and that object means all wrapped into a single object. For that we call as encapsulation. So don't worry as of now, or don't overthink as of now. See, I am telling object where we'll be storing all the data in object. So don't worry if you don't understand. When we make this Spring Boot application, that will understand better. So normally what Java is to do means, when data has to be inserted from your front end, that data will be converted to an object. From that object will be come to Java application. From that object the data will be fetched, and that will be sent to a database. Okay, so normally when interacting, all the data will be put into a object. From that object we can fetch the data. So for that we call as setting a value and getting a value. So when I click on object.getName, I'll get a name. When I click on object.setName, and if I set give name over here, so the name will be set like this. So this is what data and methods wrapped together. For that we call as what? Encapsulation. That's it, simple. And what is the last one? Polymorphism. So I'll give what is polymorphism is. Polymorphism in Java is a concept which we can perform a single action in multiple form. Okay, it's single action in a multiple form. So there are few methods or some of code related way we can write a same method or same kind of code in a different way. For that we call as um, what, polymorphism. No need to think much more about that, it's not rocket science, but don't worry. So these are some of the important concepts to be known. We'll be using abstract, we'll be using encapsulation, we'll be using inheritance. So these are all important when we start developing our Spring Boot application. Don't worry, I'll go with the very basic, you can understand better. Got it? Yeah. So that's all for this video as of now. From next video onwards, we'll start with a Spring Boot application. How we can start with means we'll see how we can start with, and we'll see how we can able to configure all Spring Boot application in Eclipse so that we can start working on. And in this series also we'll be making a complete Java full stack development. Got it? So we'll see or we'll meet in our next video. Until then, take care, goodbye, and bye bye.